Just when you think the shenanigans couldn't get more crazier, this happens. I mean, think about it. You just attended the Pope's funeral a week ago, and now you post an AI image created of yourself inside of the same papal regalia as the Pope, stating that you would love to have that job. It's not a job, it's a calling. Yes, the Catholic Church is in uproar about this, but I believe that it brings about a bigger conversation and a bigger, I guess you could say, question, which is how do we as humanity approach other people's faiths? How do we approach other people's belief systems? And I want to have the conversation today on how we can, how you can, how humanity can really be more sensitive to the spiritual identity of religions that might not be our own. But before we go there, let's get a little up to date with what's happening, okay? Let's watch this together.
As the Vatican prepares to host the conclave to elect a new pontiff, Donald Trump has posted an AI-generated image of himself as the Pope on his social media platform, which the White House then shared on its official X account. Catholics around the world say it's deeply insulting and makes a mockery of their faith.
In white papal robes, seated in an ornate chair, Donald Trump posted this fake image, AI generated. It was then shared on the official White House account. Earlier this week, the US president joked he'd like to be the next pope.
I'd like to be Pope. That would be my number one choice.
Trump is not Catholic, and leaders of the 1.4 billion strong church aren't amused. The former Italian PM responded by saying vergogna, which means shame. This is an image that offends believers, insults institutions. The leader of the global right enjoys being a clown. And from New York's Catholic bishops, there is nothing clever or funny about this image. We just buried our beloved Pope Francis. Do not mock us. The Vatican is preparing to host the conclave from May 7. Finishing touches are being made to the Sistine Chapel where the assembly will convene, and the chimney has been installed. It will signal through smoke whether a new pontiff has been elected. As 9 days of mourning comes to a close, cardinals have begun to meet privately.
How to make the church relevant in today's time, how to reach out to young people.
Most keeping the secret discussions exactly that.
Today, we're diving into a topic that's got everyone talking and, quite frankly, arguing. President Donald Trump posted an AI generated image of himself dressed as the Pope, sitting on a golden throne surrounded by religious symbolism. And social media, well, it exploded. Was it satire? Was it self worship? Was it a political jab? Maybe all of the above. But here's the real question. Are we crossing a dangerous line when we mix political power with religious imagery, especially sacred ones not our own? Now, look, I'm no stranger to religious symbolism in politics. America's had presidents quote scripture, pray in public, and appeal to God as part of their platforms. But this AI image, this one hits different. Trump wasn't quoting a psalm or holding a Bible. He was digitally made into a spiritual leader, the Pope, no less, the leader of over 1 billion Catholics worldwide. That's not just a meme. No, it's a message. Folks on the right are cheering, saying he's mocking the establishment, flipping the script. Some claim it's just AI fun or a joke. Meanwhile, many Catholics and interfaith leaders are calling it blasphemous, disrespectful, and even idolatrous. And I get it, because here's what we've forgotten in our age of satire and viral content. Sacred doesn't mean optional. Sacred means set apart. And if something is sacred to 1 billion people, even if it's not sacred to you, it should hold at least some level of respect. Let me give you some Bible, because you know I'm always coming with scripture. Romans 12:18 says, if it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. That means respecting boundaries. That means not intentionally mocking what others hold dear. We see this also inside of 1 Corinthians 10:32, where it says, do not cause anyone to stumble, whether Jews or Greeks or the church of God. See, what Paul is telling the Corinthian church is to be mindful of your actions. Don't mock, don't offend, don't flaunt. Because that's not spiritual boldness when you do that. No, that's just straight arrogance. And let's not forget Acts 17, where Paul walks into Athens and sees altars to many gods. He doesn't tear them down inside of that moment. No, he says, I see that in every way you are very religious. You see that? He honors their sincerity before even starting to preach Jesus. So when Donald Trump posts this AI image of himself as a pope, he's not just clowning around. No, he's elevating himself into a space that isn't his. He's assuming a mantle that wasn't given to him. And the Bible speaks clearly about that too. See, in James, the 3rd chapter, in the 1st verse, it warns, not many of you should become teachers, because you know that we who teach will be judged more strictly. Guess what? That applies to spiritual leadership too. Taking on religious imagery, especially from a tradition that you don't belong to, isn't just tacky, it's spiritually irresponsible. Here's where it gets even more controversial, in my opinion, because this is about more than Trump. Okay? This is about America's addiction to political saviors. The image of Trump as Pope is a symptom of a larger disease. In my opinion, it is idolatry in politics, and it's not just with President Trump. See, we treat presidents and government officials like prophets. We treat parties like churches, and we expect leaders to do what only God can do. Exodus 20:3 couldn't be clearer, where it says that you shall have no other gods before me. And guess what? That includes the red hats, the blue hats, and yes, even presidential hats. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that we can't have political opinions, but we have to stop crossing the line into worship. And we have to respect those who draw that line differently than we do. Whether it's the Pope, the Quran, a Buddhist temple, or a Native American ritual, we may not believe in them the same way, but we are called to treat people with honor, because every person is made in the image of God. And you know something? If you're posting AI content for clout, ask yourself, what's the cost of this joke? Is it worth mocking someone else's sacred ground? See, in Philippians 2:3, Paul says, do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves. See, in my opinion, that's what's missing in this AI image mess. Humility. We've traded reverence for relevance, truth for trolling. But as believers, we're called to a higher standard, one that includes conviction and compassion. So whether you thought it was funny or offensive, just remember, everything sacred isn't a meme. And just because you can make AI content doesn't mean that you should. I'm Dr. Dandridge. Thank you for joining me at my desk, and thank you for lending me your ears this day. I challenge you to think deeply, to speak wisely, and most importantly, walk humbly. Until next time, grace and peace.